Hello everyone, Melody here, mom of 4 in our blended family of 6. If you're new to our channel, please take a second to like and subscribe so that you can follow along with all the videos we're sharing about homeschooling, blended family life, and motherhood in general. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite history resources, History of Us. It is not a curriculum, but it is worth including in your homeschool routine or just in your routine as a family if you like history as much as I do. So let's jump on into those books right away and see what it is. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. If I pull up this whole stack of books right here, you can see at first glance, it's a pretty hefty stack. There are 11 books in this series altogether. So let's take a quick peek at each one of them. The series starts off with the first Americans, prehistory to 1600. All the books are written by Hakim. You choose. I'm not sure which one is correct. The very first thing that attracted me to this series was, if you read right here, it says, this book begins in the Ice Age with some people who hiked and canoed from Asia to a new land and thousands of years later got called Indians by Christopher Columbus, who didn't know where he was. So I really appreciated that introduction to the series because I've always been put off by the standard Christopher Columbus narrative that we're often told in history. Book 2 is Making 13 Colonies, 1600 to 1740. I feel like this has a balanced view of that time period and how the beginning of the colonies affected the people that were already living here. Book 3, From Colonies to Country, 1735 to 1791. This is the book we're on right now. I have been supplementing anytime we come across information like we were talking about John Adams. We watched the mini-series of John Adams. Shows like Liberty Kids, those kinds of shows. You can find all kinds of things to add to this particular period of time. So the entire series is written in a story format. From the very beginning, it asks the children to close their eyes and pretend that they're really there. It's really trying to put the kids in that position. Of course, dates are included, but it's not date heavy. It's not asking kids to memorize dates and memorize names and recite information. It's telling the story in a fun and interesting way. So hopefully the children remember it because they want to, because they like what they're hearing and it's enjoyable to go through. Each chapter in these books is very short, just a couple pages. We can look at this one. Is called The New Nation, 1789 to 1850. And if I open it up briefly, randomly, this one is The Addams Family Moves to Washington. But if I turn the page here, lots of great pictures and drawings and paintings, statues. There's side notes all along. This little yellow box has vocabulary, so if it has vocabulary that maybe your children aren't familiar with, it helps to spell that out for the littler ones. A friend of mine reads this series with her kids. They are 3 and 7, and they enjoy it too. So I am much older than 3 or 7, and I enjoy it. So I really feel like this series is great for all ages. This is a great starting of the day. We sit down, well, actually I walk back and forth so I can get my steps, but we gather together and we read one chapter, which usually takes about 10 minutes, not very much time out of our day. This one has a subsection with a little more detail about the White House, and then voila, the chapter is over. And that's it. 1, 2, 3 pages. It's very light, but at the same time, very informative, which I love. Let's look at book 5. Liberty for all. I love that they put simple things like a question mark right here. It's 1820 to 1860. I like that the entire series, it does not glorify the United States. It does not glorify the founding fathers or the colonists or the people that first claimed the United States or the Americas after the people that already lived here. It tells the good, the bad, and the ugly about what was going on. It also tells about people from all different backgrounds, women that participated in history, children that participated in history, people of different nationalities, people that were French, English, from Spain that participated in the building of our country, and people that were white, black, Asian. I really like that it's not as Eurocentric as what many history curriculums tend to be. So we've got Reconstructing America, 1865 to 1890. Book 8, An Age of Extremes, 1880 to 1917. Book 9, War, Terrible War, 1855 to 1865. Book, what are we looking at here? 9? Maybe I already said 9. I said 6. Oh my goodness, you guys, I got them out of order. Well, forgive me. So this is book 9, War, Peace, and All That Jazz, 1918 to 1945. Now this is where the series changes it up a bit. Book 10 is actually called All the People Since 1945. It doesn't go into our more modern history or government or anything like that in as great of detail as it does prior to 1945, but it does give you a tidbit on significant people since that time. We've got pictures of Donald Trump. So as you can see, this was not published since Biden became president, but it does have President Obama, President Trump, both represented in here, so it is fairly up to date. Last book, source book, it's full of documents. It's got the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights. It has all kinds of vocabulary in here. Editorial on Manifest Destiny. Interesting. As I said, we are on book 3 of this resource right now, so I have not made it all the way through here, but I very much intend to. This is a series that we are going to be reading over a course of multiple school years. It is not something that we intend to complete in a short time frame. And frankly, when we get to the end, we might start over at the beginning and read it again. It was that good. If you have any experience with this resource and you want to share that experience with other people, feel free to put that comment in the section below and let me know what you think. Let everyone else know what you think. If you have any questions about this resource that I didn't answer, that was a pretty brief overview, please ask and I will do my best to answer that question as quick as I can. Thank you all for joining me for this brief review. I hope it was helpful. I hope you find history curriculum and or resources that work for you and your family. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Okay, real quick, I wanted to add this book right here, Lies My Teacher Told Me by James W. Lowen. This is a great read for mom or dad. This is not a curriculum, it's not a resource for the kids, but it is a very interesting resource for adults to look at the history that maybe we were taught in school to help guide us to a more accurate history when we're teaching our children. Strongly recommend you take the time to check it out if you are at all interested in history.